Yeah.
Hey, what's up? This is Greg from Greg's Organics in Grass Valley, California, and it's November 9th, and we've had a good recent rain, but the plants are still in the ground, it hasn't frozen hard, and there's still harvesting to be done. So that's pretty amazing. So what we're doing today is we are going to talk about how to save your seeds, because soil is probably the most important thing that you grow. The next thing is cultivating seeds that are the strongest, healthiest, yield the most, taste the best. There's a lot of selection processes that go into finding these tomatoes that are going to be selected for next year's. Basically, that's my number one chef tomato right there. Okay, you can see this one is more of a striped German. See the subtle lines in that? Okay. This one, see how it's got a little bit of a point on that? But that's more of a pineapple than a striped German, but you can see the subtle stripes in that one. And this one is definitely more of a pineapple. But they're all cross-pollinated in the field. So I'm selecting these tomatoes out of probably 1,500 tomato plants. So it's one of the most important things I do to ensure that I have higher yields each year and I know exactly what I'm getting, because when you buy seeds from a seed company, you do not know what you're getting. Sometimes they get mixed up. You don't know what plant that came off of. Usually it's harvested off of like a half-acre field. They harvest every seed at once. You get about 20% of the seeds in a seed pack typically are winners. These are all winners because this came off of the best, most vigorous plant that was selected, and then the tomatoes were selected off of that plant. So very highly selective. So this is how we do it. It's very simple. You've made your selection, and this is how we do it. You want to use distilled water. Make sure everything is clean, and fill the bowl up. Not very much. And what we do is this. Cut it, I guess that would be longitudinally. Okay, that opens up all these pockets. You can see that's a beautiful tomato. See all those little pockets? That's where all your seeds are. So, and you do want to make sure that they're really, really ripe. You don't want to do this with a green tomato because it does help with disease resistance if they get a little bit overripe on the counter. And I don't understand why, but that's pretty universal, that thought and notion. So look at, all you do is this. Whoa. Whoa. Folks at home, don't do that. All you do is just massage around that. And you can see the seeds are in this mixture. So what I do is I just massage all that out. All this material right here will just turn to water. So don't worry about that. But see, you can see I got most of that out. I don't really have a compost bucket, so we'll just set it on the table. But you can see right here, see how the seeds just come right out of there? That's that simple. And just make sure to massage all that out. Some people take a spoon and scoop all that out of there. That is all meat right there. That's why I select these tomatoes as well, is because some of the seed cavities in these tomatoes are really large. This is mostly meat. Look at how meaty that is. So there isn't that many seeds in that tomato, but there's certainly enough seeds in here probably to plant a half acre in half of this tomato. So that gives you the power of that. Okay, so now it's very simple. Pyrex, pour it in very carefully. And then into the jar. Actually, let's use this jar. Okay. Okay. There you go. All right, that is you can see that mixture there. It looks like some gelatinous material. Some stuff is floating. You can see the gel around the seeds. That's all how it should look. So what we're gonna do is this. I don't even have a rag on to clean my hands off. So I had two selections, three actually. I had large, medium, and a small. That was medium. I call everything pineapple striped German because they're all mixed together and they're cross-pollinated. You can't really tell what is what. So that one is going to be medium pineapple striped German, and that's what that tag will be. And I really, should have gotten a rag, but just all you do is get your blue Scotch tape, get a Sharpie, put it on the front. That's how you do it. And so what we're gonna do is come back in about 2 days, and I'll show you how to take this solution and harvest the seeds from this. But here's the deal, is 2 to 3 days it needs to sit in a cool environment. And that's how you do it. And so we'll pick it up next time when this has had a chance to separate, and then I'll show you how to harvest the seeds from that solution. Happy growing. Hey, this is Greg, and we're back. We're saving seeds is what we're doing here. So here's the solution that has the seeds. This has been sitting for 3 days at about 65 degrees. I stirred it a couple times. I did screed off in my sink some of the top debris, and this is how it works. The good seeds sink and the bad seeds float. It is really that simple. So if there's any remaining floating seeds at this point, you would take it over your sink, get a large spoon, screed that off, and then pour the solution into a fine mesh screen. And let me just make sure we're all clear on this. And we are. So you can get this at any cooking store. Fine mesh. So what we're gonna do is this. It's that simple. So there honestly were no floating seeds in here. It was all tomato debris. So what we're gonna do is this. I'm just gonna put it over my bucket. Come on in. And I'm just gonna pour it in the bucket. All right, take a shot of that. So this is pineapple striped German small. So, and that smells really lovely. So, because it's starting to ferment actually. So come over here and let's rinse these. And yeah, today's a rainy day in NorCal, and this is how we do this. Just, whoa. It's just move them around, come in close. Move them around, and then just gently spray them with cold water. Because see, all the gelatinous material has come off the seed because it's soaked in water. And I like to stir them around with the back of my hand to make sure I've gotten everything off of there. And that is sufficiently rinsed. And this is what I do with my rag, is you can greatly advance the drying of these by just running the rag on the bottom of it, and it sucks the water out. And a new thing I just started doing, literally this year, was take my daughter Amelia's hair blow dryer, and this is not green, but it's effective. So what I'm doing is just evaporating all that moisture around the seeds, which does really help it dry. And you can go under it. This isn't necessary, but for accelerating the drying with high humidity when it's raining, it's not a bad idea. And it's pretty practical. I know all you really green freaks out there think I'm not green anymore, but that's okay. All right, so, and now, let that sit for a minute. Now you just take a piece of conventional wax paper. I put a Sharpie and I mark it right on the bottom of it. And it's PASG, small. And I actually did 2 smalls. So this is gonna be small number 2. So I test these both when I start my germination. So, and check the germination rates. And I will say this, my germination rates are typically in the high 90 percentile. The vigor of the plant and the vigor of the seed are very, very interrelated. Something I want to definitely touch on is this. And see how it's very simple. You just pinch it, roll it over. I'm not doing this really elegantly, but I'm getting it done. And then, so you need to make sure before you start this process that you have open pollinated or heirloom seeds. So I know that striped German pineapple is an heirloom, so I'm safe. If you do not know if it's a hybrid, which means it's been hybridized so you don't get what you have in the tomato, you shouldn't save your seeds because you don't know what you're going to get. So make sure you know what you're saving before you do that. And on that note, I have found recently that my heirlooms outperform my hybrids in the fall enormously, actually. So I'm looking for now open pollinated slicer varieties because I do think that all of these hybrids, I'll speak loud because we just got a little downpour. All these hybrids, I honestly think, are semi-indeterminates. True indeterminates are open pollinated and heirloom varieties. So in the fall, I bet I get higher yields out of those open pollinated slicer varieties. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is just come on in close. Take these, collect them, and they do want to stick to your fingers, you can see, but I just go like that. And I should wear my glasses. I gotta speak up because the video studio is getting deluged. See how I just tap that? And there's just a few, you just wipe in there. Yeah, that's 100% of those. Okay, so there you go. There's your seeds. All right, so now what you need to do is find a fairly dark spot that's somewhat warm. And you know what? Each day come and try to spread those out and get more surface area there so the air can hit more seeds. And it is really that simple to save your seeds. And I know the first time I did it, I was incredibly, I didn't trust the process. And I was thinking, oh God, I'm not gonna get what I started with. And do you know what? You do. If you know you're getting an open pollinated heirloom variety and you're saving the seed and it was the most vigorous plant, those seeds hold that DNA and they're acclimated to your area. And you know what? Doing this accumulatively, I mean, my yields this year were so staggering. It was incredible. Look at some of the farm videos showing the yields. But so that's how you do it. And so basically you would let these dry completely, note, and then you would get an envelope or an old seed pack, and I just usually get like the, you know, the painter's tape and just make a label. And then about storage, I get this question a lot. So what you want to do is go to the thrift store and buy a little cooler. And that's what you want to put your seeds in. In the bottom of a cabinet, in a cooler, out of the light. And you know what? I don't plant last year's seeds. Each year is a new evolution of them. So I'm not saving them that long, to be honest. but I definitely do save the previous year's seeds in case something were to happen. I had a cross or a flip or something going on, but that's never happened. All I get is more vigorous plants and higher yields. So that's how I do it, and definitely try it. You have to trust the process, that it's more adapted than the seed you got. Because of, like, I get seeds from Johnny's, Territorial, Peaceful Valley. Those are really my sources. And where were those grown? They're not locally adapted. Johnny's is on the East Coast. Territorial is in Oregon. But, you know, I mean, you're getting an advantage by saving it. So try it. I encourage it. Or buy my seeds. So have a great day and happy growing.